Hi, I'm Jodie Ruffle. I'm an embroidery and embellishment designer, and today I'm going to show you how to make flower embellishments using sequins and beads. Okay, so I've got my needle and thread already ready, and I've tied a little knot in the end of my thread so it doesn't pull through. And I'm just going to start in the centre of my embroidery hoop. And what I think I'm going to do is create quite a 3D flower. So I'm going to use bugle beads in the centre, and I'm going to lay lots of different colour and texture, which I really love. I'm going to put a sequin on first, and then a bugle bead. So I'm going to do a few of these, so I'm just going to keep layering my sequin, bugle bead, and then yellow at the top, which I think is quite floral. Move the seed bead out of the way, and then we're going to put the needle all the way back through, so we end up with these little standing centres like the centre of a flower. So what we're doing first of all is building up the kind of centre of the flower. And then I normally find it easiest to start from the middle and then work outwards. I'm going to move on to the next bit. I know that I'm going to have some sort of 3D sequins here, and what I want to do is lay some flat bugle beads down. What I like to do is play with them a little bit more. So I'm going to put a seed bead either side of the bugle bead. You can just about see different colours. And then when I stitch it down, you're going to get a little flash of each colour from the side of those. You don't have to be very precise with this when you're doing flowers. I like them when they're sort of not perfect, really. Yeah, I think that embroidery and embellishment are a really amazing kind of handcraft for your mental health. I think the sort of overall repetitive stitching is really, really good. It feels kind of meditative. I'm going to slot my petals in. I never really tend to know. There's some different styles of these flowers, lots and lots of different ways you can do them. Sometimes I'll plan them, and sometimes I'll just sort of do what I want to do with them. I think also one of the things I really recommend is I always use these kind of felt sheets. So I used to use lots of different pots of sequins and beads, but I find when you're doing lots of little things, you tend to knock them over, you end up with a floor full of sequins and beads. When you use felt, it means they don't roll off anywhere. I can see my threads running out, so I'm just going to flip over, tie off, and then thread up some new threads so we can carry on. And what I've decided to do is layer up 2 sequins. So I've just got a bigger one, and I'm going to put a smaller one in a different colour on top of it. This is a slightly bigger seed bead than the pink ones we were using. I'm going to use that to try and help the sequin stand up a little bit. Smaller sequin first, through my bigger sequin, and then my seed bead. And then I'm going to stitch just a few millimetres behind where I came out. So one of my favourite types of clothing to work on is sportswear. I think it's, I guess, a bit more unexpected to have embroidery and embellishment. I think it just kind of recontextualises what people think of, especially when you're doing floral embellishments. And I think the thing with doing a handcraft like this is nothing ever is quite the same, and it just gives you limitless opportunity to create something really individual, which you know, nobody else has, which I think is really exciting. So as you're building up, you will find sometimes you have to move things out of the way, or sometimes your needle might get caught or your thread, but you just have to be patient and kind of move things out of the way whenever you need them. So I think we're nearly there. I'm just going to add a few more sequins. Just tying the back so it's nice and secure. Okay, so there we go. That's my sequin flower that I've just made there. So I hope that you're inspired by that with all the different colours and patterns that you can create with sequins. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn more about me and my process, then check out my online course on Domestika.